Okay, so I'm just going to show you how to do a frequency distribution. Okay, I've already counted most of the frequencies already, but I'm going to review with you how to use the count if s function again. One thing to keep in mind, I've already tested my data, and I know it goes from 36.95 all the way to 48.91. Okay, so these are the groupings I've created. I'm writing them out just because they're easier to write them out as discrete looking. Okay, but they really are continuous, and you'll see how I create the intervals here. But anyway, I'm going to be using my count if s function. So you go in here and you type in count if s. Okay, you insert the function, and it's a complicated one. So you put your data set. You go from C3 to C1260. And remember, it's really useful, especially in this application here, to copy that. So I'm going to copy it. Okay, and then you have to put the greater than and the less than. In this case, it's going to be greater than. And if you look over here from 36 to 38, so I want to make it greater than 36.00. Okay, and I have to input the data set again from C3 to C1260. And I want to make it less than. I want to make it less than, in this case, less than 38. So for this set of data, I'm going to make it $37.99. But to make sure I don't get a value that's $37.99, I'll put another 9 in there. Okay, so it's basically going to be going all the way up to 40. Okay, I press enter there, and then I press done, boom, and it calculates it for me. There's only 4 values. There aren't many values that are like this. Okay, from 36 to 38. Okay, I'm going to redo it here. I've already done it for the rest of them, just with some time-saving measures in there again. Again, I want to go to count if s. I want to insert the function for count if s. I want to include the data range. Then I want to say the greater than. In this case, I want it to be greater than, over here, 38.000. And then you have to also do, I want my data set again, and I want it to be less than a specific value. So then I go less than, and in this case, it's supposed to be less than 40. I'm going to go 39.999, okay, to make sure that I have all data values in there. Press done, and then I go from there. Now, I've already calculated the rest of these. Okay, and if I sum them all up, they should sum up to 1268. So I'm going to do a sum column here. It's going to be useful for any other applications that we have. I need to have the sum anyway of the frequencies so that I can do the relative frequencies. Okay, that's really what I'm driving at here. So anyway, so sum, and then I go to do my sum function. Okay, so it's not up here anymore, so I'm going to go sum. Okay, and I insert the function. Okay, and it's going to be all of these guys, so you can highlight it if you want to, or it'll sometimes anticipate it for you correctly. And then you press done, and it's 1256. Oh, strange, not 1258. Maybe I'm missing some values for my max and my min, or something in there. I'd have to check that out to be sure, but we're going to leave it now like that, and then I'll go back and make sure. But this is a good way to summarize to see if you're actually correct, the 1256. Okay, in this case, it should be 1258, so I'm going to have to figure out where I made a boo-boo. For cumulative frequency, it's not that difficult for you to do. For relative frequency, which is again what you're going to be doing for your probability distribution, a probability distribution is experimental probability is relative frequency. It's the same thing. So remember, my relative frequency is just a formula. It's this. Okay, so I go equals, and I go, it's my frequency divided by my total. In this case, it's 1256 because that's what I came up with. Okay. And then I continue that alongwards all the way down, and I get all these relative frequencies. If I add them all up, if I continue this sum all the way across, okay, it was too big of a number apparently. Let me get this out of the way. And then I delete this and this because I don't want the formula in there. It should be just about 1, but it's off by a little bit. So something's happening here, strangely enough. I'll have to figure out what's going awry, but this is basically how you would do it. Now, when I want to graph it, I would take my X, hold down Command or Control, and then your Y. Those would be your relative frequencies, and then you would go Insert, and then you would want to put in a bar graph, okay? And specifically because this is discrete, I would want to be using a histogram, okay? And that's what my relative frequency distribution would look like. I'm just going to put, it's just a pet peeve of mine. For my border, I'm going to do a solid line. I'm going to make it a different color. I don't know why the default is different colors here. But anyway, now we can actually see the different bars that exist there. And this is my distribution, a little bit positively skewed. Okay. And of course, labels, labels, labels when I'm finished. Okay? And hopefully that's okay for you as far as how to use that count if as function. But there's a whole other video on how to do that, so you can figure that out as well.